So I'm just going to read through this article real quick. It appears that today in Colorado Springs, something very similar to what happened in New York on my last video where the electrical grid was on fire, something similar happened in Colorado Springs, and I think this article, as they describe what happened, actually also explains why we saw the smoke coming up out of the manhole in New York when it was the electrical grid on fire above the ground at the power line level. And they explained that it's these underground electrical vaults that are catching on fire, not the sewer. So, underground fire in downtown Colorado Springs shoots flames up through manholes. Power outages and evacuations followed an underground fire in downtown Colorado Springs that sent flames shooting up through manholes early Monday morning. Firefighters were called to 101 Kiowa Street just before 2:30 a.m. on reports of a fire underneath the street, according to the Gazette News partner KKTV. The caller told dispatchers flames could be seen shooting out of a manhole. When our crews first arrived, they found fire coming out of multiple manholes, coming up approximately 10 feet in the air, getting close and impinging on the buildings there. Though tricky, firefighters were successfully able to keep the fire from spreading to those buildings, which included residences, restaurants, and other businesses. The fire is believed to be in underground electrical vaults, not the sewer system. Power remained out at 8:45 a.m. in the area south of Platte to Pikes Peak, in between Tejon and Weber, Colorado Springs, utilities said on social media, with no estimated time of power restoration. We are still evaluating the full extent of the outage. We'll work as quickly and safely as possible to get all customers restored, utilities said on X, formerly known as Twitter, shortly after 8 a.m. Traffic signals also were out and to be treated as four-way stops. No reason to suspect anything other than equipment failure is responsible for the explosions as of this time, a spokesperson with the utility said. Evacuations were minimal and the only with evacuations I think AI wrote this. Evacuations were minimal, with only the Mountain Metro Transit downtown location at the corner of Kiowa and Nevada, along with the Lofts apartments, evacuated. That or I just can't read. The force of the blaze blew at least one of the manhole covers in the air, as well chunks of a vault itself. Here's where AI wrote it. We did have with one of the vaults, so it's in the alleyway in between Nevada and Tejon that runs that alleyway right there where we had multiple manholes with fire coming through those there. Blew the cover off and looks like it blew some of that underground vault up in the air there. Firefighters got the upper hand on the blaze early on, and the fire was deemed under control before 4:30 a.m., KKTV reported. Its impact would be felt for hours beyond that, McClellan said, telling reporters that several streets in the surrounding area would be closed for a while buildings in close proximity to the fire were cleared due to carbon monoxide risk. The Gazette office located at 30 East Pikes will remain closed until power is restored. So I think this idea of the underground electrical vault on fire explains the smoke coming up out of the manhole here in New York City, where you can see the power lines are on fire up above, which correlates the fire to the electrical components that you can see up above, and the smoke coming from down in the manhole is probably another one of these underground electrical vaults caught fire. So these drills and exercises that they're running for a black start scenario where the power goes out on a massive scale and you got to start out from a black start is probably because they know it's just a matter of time, when and where, not because they're going to be the ones to flip the switch.
A lot of people are not paying attention to this, and I'm going to give you this heavily because there's so many critical things going on in this month alone. And I told you that there was going to be a live, pretty much simulation going on, which means that throughout this entire time, that yes, it would be micro tests for this, and it's called Black Sky Event. And exercise, as you've seen, Texas Grid already hit emergency and stuff like that. Another thing that's basically happened, not getting out anywhere in New York. For some reason, the grid was on fire. You had power lines on fire and stuff like that. You had the fire crews standing by, pretty much blocking off roads, blocking off streets. People just looking around like wondering what's going on. So there, at this reported event, this happened literally last night. So people have been giving me comments on the video saying like, "Hey, yeah, we've got a message about some outage happening." It's all pre-planned. They already.
So I don't believe, as it says in this notice from CPS Energy, that light rain after extended periods of extended dry periods increases the possibility of pole top fires. I believe there are some environmental conditions that are leading to these pole top fires and these underground electrical vaults catching fire, and it has more to do with our magnetic field. A fluctuation in the magnetic field creates a surge of ground current, and with our weakening and destabilizing magnetic field, this is bound to occur and increase, and thus the preparedness operations that they're running for these black start events.